today's world, I see Muslim kids getting affected with drugs. So they are going into drugs because of all these issues. I think sleep is the most important thing. So if you are getting 8 hours of sleep every day, then you are protected from so many mental illnesses. Screen addiction is becoming very common these days, and it is like preventing us from doing our daily activities.
Because the number one reason why I'm not seeking help is also because of the stigma that comes along, and also because I fear that I will be judged.
So we should all have somebody whom we can approach with our day-to-day problems and whom we can talk freely.
Welcome to Upfront Perspectives, where honest conversations and fresh ideas come together. Join us for direct talks and new viewpoints on what matters today. For today's podcast, we have the privilege of speaking with Dr. Asfia Khalil, the Director and Consultant Psychiatrist at Umeed De-Addiction and Rehab Center. Dr. Asfia brings years of experience in mental health care, focusing on compassionate, holistic treatment. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Asfia.
You're welcome.
To begin, Dr. Asfia, why is mental health important as physical health?
So mental health is what controls our physical health. And not only that, it controls each and every decision we make, every action, every relationship we maintain, every work we do, our studies, everything depends on our mental health. So that is why it is important that you take care of it.
Okay. So, how would I know that I need to seek mental health or look for a mental health expert?
So you have to be aware of the mental health illnesses which are there. So and keep yourself abreast with these illnesses, how they can manifest, and you will have to look for those signs. If you feel that you or your loved ones have those signs, then you should ask them to visit a psychiatrist immediately.
Okay, so you talked about visiting a psychiatrist. I would like to ask you, what is the difference between a psychotherapist and a psychiatrist? Because I understand that both of them are different. So I would like you to elaborate on that.
So a psychiatrist will look at everything, and we deal with medications. If the patient requires any medications, and what therapy and what kind of a psychologist they should be referred to, all that will be done by the psychiatrist. So it is medication plus the therapy which the psychiatrist is responsible for, and they will guide you to what therapy has to be taken, or what medications, and how you have to go about, what lifestyle changes you can make. So all those things the psychiatrist will guide you about. And the psychotherapist, they will be only doing the talk therapy. So any therapies you require, they will be handling it.
Okay. So as an adult or as a child, as an adolescent, how do I know that I need to seek therapy? Is it my parents' responsibility to understand what I'm going through? Or if as an adult, how would I know that I need to seek therapy, right?
So I think the youth these days, they are well versed and they know the symptoms of mental health illnesses. And they are the ones who are putting their foot down, asking their parents to take them to a psychiatrist these days. So there's a lot of awareness among our youth nowadays, and they are themselves asking for help.
Okay.
And as parents, they should also keep themselves abreast, and they should also see that if their children are suffering from any of these illnesses, they should be the ones taking the first step in taking the appointment with the psychiatrist.
How do you differentiate between these neurological disorders, say for example ADHD or bipolar disorder? Because everyone in today's youth says that they are depressed, which they could be, but not necessarily would they need a psychiatric help. They could just be, those issues could just be resolved by seeking therapy. How would and what is the first point of contact, or whom should they consult in such cases?
See, ADHD is what begins at a very young age. So those kids will be in school at that time. So every school has a counselor these days. So the first point of contact has to be your counselor. They will see if the child requires medications or not, because we cannot start medications to a very young child. Only once they are around 6 years of age that we can, as a psychiatrist, I can help them. So until then, they have to be taken care by the psychologist.
What are the signs that we see usually in people with young people who should seek therapy?
So there are like if their functioning is affected in any way, if their studies are affected, their health is affected, or their relationships are affected, then they need help. So this is a very vague or a general sign. But for each mental illness, there are different signs. Like ADHD kids are very hyperactive. Depressed kids are very low in activity. They are not interested in anything. So if the person is anxious, they will be showing signs of anxiety. They will be restless. They will be scared. They will be crying. Okay, so they will not be able to do things. So these are very common illnesses, but there are a few which are very uncommon, and those you have to visit. Like if you see any change in the child's performance or their behavior or their interaction with you, you have to consult a psychiatrist.
Okay, but we also see a lot of stigma around mental health. What do you think are the reasons people are still very skeptical of seeking mental health?
But I'm very optimistic. Nowadays, the stigma is very less,
Okay.
and people are coming forward and taking treatment. So yes, the older generation, they are still having that stigma, and it is mainly because mental health conditions, they feel they are not treatable, or the medications have to be taken for life, or medications have side effects. So these are the things which stop people from taking therapy or treatment from a psychiatrist. So these things have all changed now. Our medications are new generation. They don't have too many side effects. They can be managed. Even if any side effect do appear, we can manage them very well. And we have a wide array of medications. So if a person is not like able to tolerate a medication, we can always give them some other medication from a different class. So it's very easy to treat mental illnesses these days.
And does it always remain affordable? Because in an urban setup, in a urban setup, it's very easy for someone to seek mental health, mental health therapy, or go see a psychiatrist. But how do you look at the challenges that a person coming from a rural background might face when they need such help?
Nowadays, mental health setups are there in all hospitals, all government hospitals. A psychiatrist is available. All the medical colleges have a psychiatric department. So it is easy now for the rural people also to go and take medications. And I feel that the rural people or the uneducated people, they come and take medications without hesitation. So I can, I'm very happy about that fact that they will not ask you what are the side effects or will this medication suit me or not. They will trust the psychiatrist and take the medication, and they come out of it very well.
What are your thoughts on mental health that affect women specifically due to the also because of the hormonal changes that they go through monthly?
Yes, women are very prone for mental illnesses because there are a boiling part of hormones. So the hormones every day are changing. So not every day is the same for a lady. And throughout their life cycle also, they have a lot of changes in their hormonal cycles. So that is why it makes them very vulnerable to mental illnesses.
But then how do you see, and what advice would you give to the men around the women at such times when women are in their low
So
phase, when they're having that hormonal disbalance?
So I think they have to be very supportive at that time. So I think nowadays it's becoming very common, and men are also aware that women can get emotional on a few days, and they are taking care of their women. So they have to be a little more supportive, little more accommodating, and it makes their life very easy.
What do you think about the mental health issues within minority communities, specifically Muslim, considering the overall condition that is happening, or the mental toll that they have to take because of the current government or
See,
the political scenario?
yeah. So for Muslims, I think the mental health conditions are the same for all classes. But today's world, I see Muslim kids getting affected with drugs. So they are going into drugs because of all these issues. So they are not able to come out or express their feelings or what is happening in the society. They are not able to deal with it, and most of them resort to drugs. It's become like just the go-to thing for them, and it cures, or it helps them with everything which is happening around. It just numbs them. So they are very vulnerable, and we are not doing anything in this respect. We are not equipped ourselves to take care of such youth. So it is becoming a mental health crisis these days for us.
What are the challenges that you see, and what are the things one can do to avoid, Muslim youth or youth in general to who fall prey for such addiction?
I think the mosque and mm, the Zimedar people of the community, they have to come forward, devise methods where you can engage the youth, engage them in sports, engage them in other extracurricular activities, So do things for them, provide them space to play. Indoor games can be arranged. We have such big mosques in every area. So if these mosques can become the center for these youths to spend time, I think this problem can be handled.
Do you think religiosity or spirituality has to play a role with their mental health, or them moving towards addiction, drug addiction specifically?
Yes, in a few people who have moved away from spirituality, religiosity, they have made it it's okay to take drugs. So they are the ones going into it. But people who are more spiritual, they are able to come out of these things a little easily, and with a little bit of medication, little bit of therapy, they are able to come out very easily. But the ones who have moved away, they have lost trust in Allah, they are no longer spiritual, they require a lot of therapy, they require a lot of work, medication wise, therapy wise. We have to spend a lot of time on them to help them recover.
So, what are the kinds of work that your organization as a whole does in this area, in de addiction?
So we admit such patients who are not able to stop taking medication, these drugs. So we admit them and treat them. We give them an Islamic setting where they can read namaz 5 times. They undergo ruqya. Then we give them counseling in an Islamic way and help them come out of this addiction very fast.
So you talked about prevention. What are the vital things that one should do to prevent, starting to feel anxious or depressed, or to even seek help?
Okay, so you mean to say the preventive strategies which they should apply?
Yes.
I think sleep is the most important thing. So if you are getting 8 hours of sleep every day, then you are protected from so many mental illnesses, depression, anxiety. So all these things require your body to mend properly. So if you're sleeping between 11 to 4 every day, you are protected. Your body mends properly, and most of the things can be avoided. But today's lifestyle, I find people sleeping very late, getting up late. So the sleep cycle is not consistent. And that is why all these mental illnesses are on the rise. And if they expose themselves to sunlight early in the morning, it helps them to sleep better. It helps them to fight their anxiety, fight their depression, as well as keep themselves healthy. So nowadays, because of the urbanization, sunlight is not reaching our people, especially the women who stay at home. They are not going out into the sun, and they are the ones who are prone for all these illnesses. And if you can de-stress yourself every day by doing some activity which you like, it could be a hobby, it could be some watching something specific, like maybe some comedy shows, or just spending time with your with Quran, or reading namaz, or whatever calms you down. So if you just do that activity for half an hour every day, it will protect you from most of these illnesses.
Do you think screen or our mobile phones, our cell phones have a role to play in our sleep cycle and also our mental health?
Yes, they definitely have a role to play. Screen addiction is becoming very common these days, and it is like preventing us from doing our daily activities. Our sleep is affected because we are on the mobile in the night. We are not reading books these days. People are going away from them. Everything is on the phone. So they want to do everything on the phone. So that is giving rise to more and more addiction. And you're spending less time with your friends. You're not connecting with them when they are in front of you. You're busy with your phones. So these things are stopping us from making relationships and giving more importance to your mobile phone. So illnesses do creep in slowly because of that.
What are the practical approaches you think one can take to first also come out of the addiction that they might have, and also take care of their mental health better?
So I think being aware that you are going into an addiction, it could be your mobile phone, it could be some substances, or it could be gambling, or internet addictions. So any of these, you have to be first aware, and you have to take steps, concrete steps to come out of it. So only then, if you make yourself like very, if you get that confidence that you can do it and you want to come out of it, then it becomes easier. Okay, so we can come out of it. If it is not happening, even if you put your best effort, it is not happening, then go and seek a mental health professional. They will help you to come out of these things.
Dr. Asfe, you talked about religiosity and mental health and our overall mental health well-being. Um, but I have seen a lot of people who are very religious, who pray 5 times of namaz, who do all the zikr, yet they fall yet they feel anxious and yet they feel depressed, and it happens with me as well. It's a
Hmm.
very common thing that I've heard from people who are religious. They're involved in all the kinds of activities that please Allah, yet they feel left alone and lonely.
Okay, religiosity can protect you to some extent, but not completely. And all of us do keep going into depression or anxiety every day, and we do come out of it. It is only when it becomes too difficult to handle things that you seek help. And religiosity will definitely keep you grounded, and you should be, but there should always be a balance. Okay, so I think even Islam is all about balance. So if you can maintain that balance between your deen and dunya, then it becomes easy for you to handle your mental health issues.
I think people have stopped that conscious living. People have become very materialistic in how they live.
Hmm.
Uh, they don't have purpose. They don't have a meaning to their life, and that is what is causing them a lot of anxiety and depression. What do you think is the first, like say for example, I suffer from anxiety and depression, and I'm
Hmm.
having those emotions in me. What is the first step I should do? Where should I, like, whom should I reach out to for seeking help? Is it a friend I should talk with, or is it the nearest psychotherapist whom I
Hmm.
should consult with? And how do I know that I can trust them? Because the number one reason why I'm not seeking help is also because of the stigma that comes along, and also because I fear that I will be judged by my friend, or by my confidant, or by the mental health therapist.
I think the first step is your friends or any elder in your family who
Mm-hmm.
can guide you in a proper way. So we should all have somebody whom we can approach with our day-to-day problems and whom we can talk freely. So there will be somebody who will not judge you, who will be also going through the same things, but they would have dealt with it in a good way. So if anybody like that is there in your family, definitely go and approach them. And your friends who are dealing with similar issues, they will help you and they will guide you very well. And your elders. So if there are somebody who you are close to, whom you can open up and speak about all these things openly, then you have to approach them. And if you feel that your issues are big and these people cannot handle them, then you can approach a counselor. Okay, so the counselor will help you to come out of these things and they will guide you properly. And it is a duty of a counselor to be non judgmental.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to worry, and they will keep the confidentiality as well. So we are all bound by the confidentiality laws. So you can freely approach and talk to the counselor about these things.
Dr. Asfi, I have one more question to ask. How do you see community efforts being put up for having a community or a society with people having good mental health? What are the interventions that can be made to
Mm.
create that safe space within communities?
Our community is not giving too much of importance to addressing the mental health issues or doing something for the people to overcome these mental health issues. So, if we can have places where you can go for counseling, a free counseling center, or for people who are having marital issues, if some counseling can be arranged where these things can be handled in a very sensitive way. Plus, if we provide spaces for our children to go and socialize with other kids, connect with the society, connect with the like the zimmedars of our society, and they are the ones guiding our children in a proper way. That will help us to come out of this mental health crisis. So I think that the community elders have to take up the responsibility.
With that, thank you so much, Dr. Asfia, for being our guest. And that's where we'll wrap things up for today. These conversations never really end, they just keep evolving. We'd love to hear your take on this. So share your thoughts and keep the dialogue alive. Until next time, stay curious and join us for more meaningful discussions.